Greetings, YouTube. My man, Stephen Fireheart across the pond. Shout out to all my UK subscribers. Had himself a day this week with luck. And he pulled out all the stops. He was hunting more than ever for 7-star Corvus. In fact, he recently told me privately that he would have chosen Corvus over a 7-star Hercules. That's how much this man loves Corvus, and that's the message that he sent over to the channel today. And that is also a message because I say smart people surround themselves with smarter people. I say, guys, if you want to find yourself a good woman, a smart man finds a smarter woman. Finds a woman that can be responsible with money, that can help him with fashion, that can make him feel like he can be a better version or the best version of himself. This new hair, these new glasses. If you don't think these involve a woman's touch this year, you'd be dead wrong. So he wanted 7-star Corvus. He got a lot of good 7-stars. Awakenings are more dupes of Silver Surfer, Photon, Mysterio, new Omega Red, new Overseer, but in the end, no Corvus. And so he did what he was prepared to do after opening $1,100 worth of crystals. He decided to get that 7-star champion Omega selector and select Corvus. He swears, and I mean, I guess I have to believe him, that he would have done this over Hercules. And so when somebody that I respect with their skill and their knowledge of the game far more than I respect myself, as somebody who feels like half the time I'm just trying to barely keep up with the minimum information I can keep up to understand what's going on in side quests, given all the responsibilities I have at Oklahoma State with my quote-unquote real teaching job. But he chose Corvus, and then he was able to awaken Corvus without using an awakening gem, and he got not one but 2 Corvuses. So all of a sudden Corvus was at Sig 40, and so he got a Corvus jackpot. He also added Warlock and Hyperion. And that takes us to where we left off with our friend, Mr. Stephen Fireheart. But then he decided to put all the SIGs. Now, I don't know if I would have suggested this, but if it is a prestige thing, which it might be, then I guess you want him at the highest SIG possible. And if it's just for Omega Days champions and you're just using 6 stones to up somebody that you can target, you might as well target the champion you're most excited about. This is, if you're wanting him to be better than Hercules, or you care about him more than Hercules, certainly he's been around more than Hercules, then yeah, you want all the 6 stones you can be put into him. And so it's worth noting that as somebody who runs, I think, full recoils, or at least half recoils, he gets Corvus and Omega to benefit from that mastery setup with these new 7-star Awakened champions. So, very unique crit team. You got Red Mags, Storm, Nebula, and Prox. This kind of reminds me of a crit team from about 6 years ago. Now, I'm just curious, because right now Corvus has 0 missions. So how much are his crits going to be with 0 missions? It's about what my 6-star does with 2 to 3 missions. And I have a lot of data surrounding Corvus, because I use him every day in map 6 when it's not raids week. That's reserved for my Vanguard OG 7-star rank 2 Iron Man. Shout out. Now the special 2, that's again right in line with what I'm used to seeing with a rank 5 6-star with about 2 missions. So this is data that is never going to be that impressive because the hits are going to stack up big time as soon as he runs out of those 20 crits. Now, 18,000 for a non-crit is still great, and the irony is this is when Corvus does his best work against somebody like Mr. Sinister because you can't crit. Obviously, he would also not be pushing a defender to a 3 triple special bars of power if he was fighting somebody unlike this champ who only has 2 specials. So 78 hits, we've seen better than that for 5 stars, because this is not what you're supposed to care about with Corvus. You're supposed to care about this. Now we go to Void, Omega Red, speaking of Omega Days, and Corvus. 7-star Corvus might be changing the game. Because look at this path. We got 7-star Infinity Man and Red Skull. 2 defenders that are sneaky annoying with the wrong counters. But if Corvus is the wrong counter, you don't have the right game. Because look at, especially with no awakened ability, how much damage he did. That was like fighting a 2-star. Corvus made that path a joke. So, he's not going to break Battlegrounds, because in Battlegrounds he's going to do a similar version to what we saw with Realm of Legends Winter Soldier. But when it comes to gameplay like Alliance Quest and Alliance War, where you can target your paths and build up those mission charges, well then suddenly it's like Corvus's playground all over again. It's like we're going back to 2019. Look at that intercept. Great skills for the intercept. Double intercept. These crits are just monster. 31,000, 38,000. I mean, what? Steven, no stress. And unlike the new champions that I feel like you need to know Calculus 3 and have a PhD to figure out the rotations of and memorize those. Because even when I figure them out, if I don't do them for, I don't know, even a couple weeks, I've like etch-a-sketched my brain. It's Men in Black technology. I've just wiped all the memories I have of how to use that champion. Corvus, as long as you've got the missions up, no such problems. You don't even need to fire a special in some of these fights. You just use, hopefully, medium, light, medium. But even that's not a big deal. Steven, wow. What a video. 7-star Corvus is breaking the game. I am sold. And Kabam might be regretting this. Good.